Okay, so I'm going to tie up a very successful river nymph. This is a purple beastie variant. Catches fish nationwide, and if you haven't got one, you really do want to have some in your box. Right, so hook. I'm using a Dohiku size 14 jig. The bead that I've got in there, that's actually quite a small bead. It's a 2.5mm silver small slot. Wire, that's going to be for our rib, red wire. I'm using quite a thickish wire there because I want the rib to stand out. I want, if you can see there, I want that flash of red coming off it, so quite a good size wire. What other stuff we're going to need? Coq de Leon for our tail, that's from Get Slotted, that's really good quality. Black PTN, some black uni thread, and last but not least, some UV purple shimmer dub. That's from Fish On, and it's really good stuff like that. Okay, so I'm just going to catch the thread in just 3mm behind the bead, below the bead. The reason for that is I want to leave just a few mil there for finishing off after I've dubbed this collar in, because I don't want to be coming up over the bead. I want to just finish off in there, so that's the reason for the gap. Okay, Coq de Leon. I'm just going to line a few fibres up, just line them up, line the tips, sorry, and then pull down and off, and we're just going to place it over the back of the hook, catch in, work down with the thread. Okay. Trim off, and then we're going to come in with the red wire for our rib, and we're just going to offer that again. Just want the tip of that just to finish where we started with the thread. So we'll catch it in there and just level it up, and then come back up with the thread, up and turns, and back down. Now, I don't want this to be too bulky, this fly, so I'm only going to use 2 fibres off this PTN. Just trim them off with the tips, just catch them in and come back up. Okay, now at this point here, if you want, you can just secure everything, put a little whip finish there, just so it doesn't undo, or sorry, the thread doesn't unravel. Hackle pliers. Now this might be a bit tricky because of my camera. Pull up and away, and then we're just going to wind on of close turns, coming up the hook shank. Now it's a bit awkward because I've got the camera a little bit close, so I have to just move in, just open, no sorry, close turns. See, the zoom's not good enough to put the camera back further. There's the quality. It's a bit of a shame, but we'll get there nonetheless. Keep wrapping up. See, everything's a bit hampered. Again, we're going to leave that gap there. That's for our thorax, or our collar, whichever. Tie that in. Trim off. And then just with a bit of tension on the thread, just come back down, few turns, and we're just going to hold the position there with the thread, just round where we finished with the PTN. I'm going to come round and wrap now our wire. I want 3 turns, fairly evenly spaced. Back over them. Catch that and tie that down. Gentle turns just at first. And then we're just going to grab this wire, wiggle it and break it off. Nearly pulled down the whole camera there. It's typical, it's hanging on that. Normally it comes off a lot easier. Tie down quite tight now and come back with the thread again to that position just where we're in front of the pheasant tail. We'll get our dubbing, not too much dubbing. I'm just going to tease this on, level it out. We don't want it too bulky. Just spread it and level it out. And then we'll do forward wraps with it. Get to that position there. I'm just going to add a little bit more because we're going to whip finish. Not too much, take a bit off if you've put too much on. We're going to whip finish now with the dubbing on the thread. 4 turns. Trim the thread. I'm going to have a little look at the fly. Just trim off any little bits of fibres, but that's it. And that is a really, really effective river nymph. Certainly one for the box.